All right, we're doing something a little different today. Think of this as a special news brief, because something pretty major is happening in the world of cybersecurity right now, and the implications, well, they're huge. Let's get straight to what we know.
You know, the fight for digital security is always on, but today, the game might have just changed. A powerful new weapon has just been handed to the good guys, the cyber defenders, and we've got the latest details as they're coming in. So here's the top line. A brand new, super specialized AI model is being rolled out literally as we speak. But here's the catch. You and I can't just go download it. This thing is being given exclusively to a very specific group. Verified, trusted cybersecurity pros. And it has a name. It's called GPT-5.4 Cyber. Look, this is a big deal. We're talking about a purpose-built AI designed from the ground up to play defense in our incredibly complex digital world.
So, okay, what is this thing really? Well, think of it as a special version of the GPT-5.4 model, and the keyword here is permissive. That means its usual safety rules have been carefully loosened, but only for legitimate cybersecurity work. This lets defenders do some really complex stuff, like binary reverse engineering, which, is basically taking apart malware to see how it works, even without the original code. It's absolutely essential work.
And you gotta ask, why now? Why release this tool right now? Well, everything we're hearing points to one thing. This is a necessary move in what's become a full-blown digital arms race, one that's mostly happening behind the scenes.
And really, this all comes down to a fundamental problem. AI is what they call a dual-use technology, right? For every way it helps the good guys find a security hole, it's also helping the bad guys invent a whole new way to attack. It's this constant tug of war, and the stakes just keep getting higher and higher.
And you can feel that sense of urgency in the official statements coming out. There's one quote that really stands out. "Cyber risk is already here and accelerating. Safeguards cannot wait." The point they're making is crystal clear. This isn't some future problem. The danger was already here, even before this latest wave of AI. The threat is now, so the response has to be now.
So, this isn't just them dropping a new piece of software and calling it a day. No way. This is a very strategic deployment. And from what we can tell, it's all built around a really clear three-point defense strategy. Let's break down what that looks like.
Okay, so it boils down to three main pillars. First, democratized access. The idea is to get this tool into the hands of as many legitimate defenders as possible using simple verification, not some arbitrary gatekeeping. Second, iterative deployment. Basically, they're releasing it carefully, learning from how it's used in the real world and making it better and safer over time. And third, ecosystem resilience. This is about more than just one tool. It's about investing in the entire security community with grants, open source projects, you name it, to make our collective defenses stronger.
All right, so let's get practical. How does a security pro actually get their hands on this? It's all being run through a new program, and it's called the Trusted Access for Cyber Program, or TAC for short. The whole process is built to be secure, obviously, but also accessible. What we're hearing is that the TAC program is already being scaled up to thousands of individual defenders and hundreds of teams. An individual can just go verify their identity through an online portal. A whole company can request access for their security team. And the bottom line is, once you're vetted, you get access to the highest tier. You get access to GPT-5.4-Cyber.
And look, this whole idea of arming defenders with AI, it isn't just some theory. We've got proof that this approach is already paying off. AI is out there, right now, actively fixing broken code and making the software we all use safer. Get this number in your head. Over 3,000. That is how many critical and high-severity vulnerabilities have already been fixed thanks to a related system called Codex Security. I mean, that's a real, tangible impact. That's making the internet safer for all of us.
Okay, so this new tool is obviously a huge milestone. But what does it mean for the future? Where is all of this headed? Let's take a look at what seems to be on the horizon for AI in cyber defense.
When you look at the timeline, you realize today's news didn't just come out of nowhere. This has been building for years. It started with a grant program way back in 2023, then adding cyber-specific safeguards in 2025, then launching that Codex security system we just talked about earlier this year. Today's release of GPT-5.4 Cyber, it's just the next logical step in this long-term plan to scale up our defenses as the AI itself gets more and more powerful.
At the end of the day, the ultimate goal here seems to be a complete shift in how we think about cybersecurity. The dream is to build an ecosystem where security flaws get found and fixed as the code is being written. It's about moving from being reactive, cleaning up messes, to being proactive, building security in from the very start.
And that, of course, leaves us with the billion-dollar question. Today is a big win for the defenders, for sure. But as AI keeps getting exponentially more powerful, can our defenses really truly keep up? That is the fundamental challenge that's going to define the entire next chapter of cybersecurity. That's our brief for today. Thanks for joining us.